Welcome to the Fret Fables guitar course. If you have an interest in playing guitar, learning guitar, this is your one-stop shop to get you going and allow you to express your creativity through this magnificent instrument here. Okay, so one thing I found is that a lot of times people get caught up because the instructors have got really good equipment. They've got top line equipment. They've got top line production. They sound fantastic because they've had years of playing experience. And normally when you're starting out, you're comparing yourself to the person who's instructing you, okay? Now, I have had years of experience, obviously, but I want to show you that even though I've had years of experience, I'm not using any trickery, I'm not using any high-level production value, any equipment like that. This is basically just a raw feed. It's just you and me and the guitar. The guitar I use is a very, very inexpensive Ibanez. It's a nylon string Ibanez acoustic because the sound that you get from a guitar comes mostly from how you play it. It's not the guitar itself. A good guitarist can make an average guitar sound good. A great guitar can't make a bad player sound good. So if you can get encouragement from me playing something like this and it sounds okay, that gives you the encouragement to say, you know what, if I just stick with it a little bit longer, I'll be able to play as well, if not as well. Maybe, you know, get to a level that I'm happy to play in front of other people. Now, if you want to learn to play just for yourself, that's fantastic as well. It's an exploration of our creativity, our inner creativity to express ourselves, having our takes in our life lived through music, because music is one of the companions we have through our life. You know, often we remember songs that we had in the past, songs that we, you know, had with our first partner, our first experience, our first loss. All them things can be experienced through the magic of music itself. And we owe it to ourselves to be able to explore that emotional connection we have with music by being able to play the songs that have meaning to us. Now with Fret Fables, I actually do reviews of songs. I dig down into the meaning of them and production quality and things like that on the channel as well. So if you want to have a look at some of them videos, that'd be great. It's always good to have people subscribe to the channel so they can actually be encouraged that, you know, someone as average as myself can make this guitar here sound great. It's about $200. It's a medium, low level medium guitar. So it's not got the bells and whistles. I don't have any amplifier connected to it. What you hear is directly from the guitar itself and my singing, even though I'm no Pavarotti, even though I may have the geographical similarities to Pavarotti, I don't actually don't sing like Pavarotti, but my singing has improved. And in this course, we will actually explore how we can actually develop our voice along with our songs as well. Okay, so this is where we're starting from. First comes the love of playing, the love of music, the emotional connection, then comes the theory. So what we're going to do is I'm not going to drown you in theory. I'm going to give you just enough so you get an understanding of why we're doing something and how we're doing something and why things make sense. Okay, so when we're actually playing the songs through this course, you'll get that connection. Now, some of the songs, some people who are more of my vintage may recognize. Some of the songs, if you're younger and you're just starting out, you're only a teenager, it's great. It's good to understand the whole history, and that's what the Fret Fables is about, is giving you exposure to some of the great songs in the past. Some of the songs have quite significant emotional connection to myself, and some don't. They're just great songs to be explored. Music is our constant companion through life. It touches us when we're in the depths of our despairs. It can lift us when we're so happy. And it can actually be that comforting friend when we just need someone to be there with us. So welcome to Fret Fables and this free course, and let's get on with making music. Welcome to Fret Fables and the free guitar course. Music is the constant companion we have through life. In this course, we're going to touch on just the basics to get you up and going and get you excited about playing this magnificent instrument. Music is the constant companion we have through life. It's been there when we're sad, it's celebrated with us when we're happy. And now we're just going to go over the basics of the guitar so you get an idea of what we're dealing with. Okay, now you may have a guitar at home, you may be wanting to purchase a guitar. We're going to touch on some of these things through the course, so to give you some sort of idea of where we're at. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is actually introduce you to the guitar. This is an Ibanez nylon string. This is the body of the guitar, so this is known as the body. This is the sound hole. This is what projects the sound. We've got the bridge here, which connects the strings on one end of the guitar. We have the fretboard. Now these little metal bars here are called frets, and you'll see on the end of that there are actually dots on the actual fretboard, and they signify different frets to allow you to, when you're starting out, understand where you are on the fretboard, because the notes go from lower notes at the top here at the nut, which is this piece here, down here they go up in pitch by semitones. Now we'll get into that as we go. I'm just feeding in bits of information, so when you actually get to the part where we're talking about semitones and scales, you've already heard about it. It's not something foreign to you. Okay, up here we've got the machine head and the tuners. Okay, so some of the accessories that we want to look at is, the first one is a tuner. We can use this. I mean, electric tuners are great now. You can use tuning pegs, pitch pipes. There are things like pitch pipes that you can actually use as well. But a good tuner like this will cost $5, maybe $10. You can get some really flashbang ones for $30, $40. But there are some in the description for you to have a look at and see if you want to purchase any of them. The strings themselves, look, really at this stage of the game, strings are strings. You can get lost in the actual details of all the different types of strings, different gauges, different materials. These are nylon string guitars. So the bottom three strings are basically very heavy fishing line, just nylon string. And the upper strings are metal wound around a piece of nylon itself. Okay, so the guitar itself is an instrument, a string instrument, but it's also more than a string instrument, and we'll get into that a little bit further. We also have a thing called a truss rod. Now the truss rod goes up through the middle of the neck here, and that gives the guitar a little bit of a scooping, sort of the fretboard, a little bit of a scoop that allows all the notes to be played without rubbing against any of the frets. Because the angle, if you look at, you might not be able to see it very well, but there's an actual gap between the fretboard and the strings, and that angle between the bridge and the headstock here, the nut, allows you to play the strings. Okay, now if the fretboard was dead straight, when you actually press down on the note, it would buzz, right? It doesn't buzz because there's a slight curve in the actual fretboard. Not really that important, but just so you understand how it works. Okay, so that's the guitars. The strings on the guitar, when you're tuning the guitar, you have set notes for each of the open strings. Okay, these notes, when you're tuning it, this is something that I don't see in many other instruction videos for some reason, I'm not sure why, is that you should always tune below the note and then tune up to the note. Okay, not down to the note, because there's going to be play in these strings. Okay, you might have to strum the guitar a few times when you restring it, or you get a new guitar, you might have to tune it several times over before the strings hold their place. Okay, and hold the note. But when you're tuning, you should, if the guitar is tuned high, like if you're on an E note, and the E string, which is this fat one at the bottom, the big one there, that's an E note. If it's actually flat, you can tune up to E. If it's sharp, so it's like an F or F sharp, you should tune below the E, so E flat or D, and then tune slowly up to the note. That'll hold the note better than tuning down, because when you tune down, the strings need to settle and set into the actual nut, and you could actually find, if you're tuning from high to low, the strings will continuously go out of tune. Okay, so try to get into the habit of tuning low to high. Okay, so now with the fretboard, when we're actually playing notes on the fretboard, one thing that a lot of beginners get, and they get sore hands because of this. Don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I'm going to explain to you things that you can do to avoid that going forward. Okay, a lot of people squeeze the neck. They try to press really hard. Now, what I want you to do is think about the fretboard. When you're pressing on the fretboard, all you need to do is press hard enough to make the note sound. Okay, the harder you press, if you press the string just enough to make the note sound, it's just the same as if you squeeze the note really hard. Okay, so if I just play this note here, right? This is the D note, so you can hear there's no, it's not sounding. And as I start to press, there, I'm barely pressing that note, right? Barely putting any pressure on it. Look, see my hand? I'm not even gripping that's barely any pressure there. But some people will actually squeeze it. There's no difference. No difference. So just learn from the start to press the string just hard enough to get the note to sound. Okay? Now, when you're playing more complex notes like bar chords, right? You can actually hang, instead of trying to squeeze the fretboard, use the weight of your arm. Let your arm hang off the fretboard. The weight of your arm will help you sound that note, sound that chord, right? I'm barely putting any pressure on that with my hand. It's more weight from my arm, just hanging from there. That's a great key, okay? So with regard to that, get yourself a tuner. Another thing you may want to look at getting, which will help you change the keys of songs that you're playing in further down the track, is a thing called a capo. Now, a capo actually helps you change the pitch of the notes that you're playing, okay? So wherever you place it, it replaces the function of the nut, okay? So all these notes here will be different to the notes in the nut by a whole tone, okay? So that's another thing that you may want to look at, all right? That's a good thing. Plectrums, I don't use plectrums. I use my hand. I'm a finger picker, but you can use plectrums. I just find it easier for myself to use my hand. Basically there I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plectrums there instead of just one. Now as you progress and you learn electric guitar and things like that, and you might want to start learning how to shred, like play really quickly, it is probably a good idea to learn how to use the plectrum properly. But at the moment, I just want to make sure that you understand that all you really need is a guitar with strings on it, and you can actually entertain people, entertain yourself, and have some more fun. The one thing I do want to cover here is that the guitar, a lot of people call it a string instrument. It is technically a string instrument because it's got strings on it, but it's a percussive instrument. It's an orchestra in your arms, okay? It has bass lines, you know. You got your bass notes. You got your violins, your high pitched things. You've got percussion, so you can actually do, knock on it. You've got all different sounds that you can use on this instrument to make it basically a 6-string orchestra. That's one way I used to phrase it too. You could use it as a 6-string orchestra, so so you can do all sorts of things with it. Strum, beats. You can use it as a drum. It's a great instrument to learn, and the more you learn, the better you get at it. The more fun you'll have exploring your creativity, entertaining yourself, or even just being able to pick up a guitar somewhere and have some fun at a party. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for tuning in to Fret Fables. Well, just leave a like or comments in the comments. Also, just subscribe to the channel to see the Fret Fables song exploration, where I look at songs, have a look at their lyrical content and their history and what drove the artist to write that particular song. So until next time, Tunnies, keep playing and pursue that creative spark within you. Welcome again to the Fret Fables guitar course. Well guys, Tunnies, we're here to the next stage. We've covered off what the guitar is, how the guitar actually is more than just the 6-string instrument. It's a 6-string orchestra, and we talked about how we are pursuing a creative endeavor with this instrument itself. So to have fun with it, to explore our creativity, to have fun, and be able to play things and be able to do things with a guitar. Now, some of you may already have guitars, some of you may be thinking about buying a guitar. So this video here, we're going to cover off the kind of guitar, if you're looking to buy a guitar or buy your next guitar or whatever it is, what you should be looking for, and the kind of things that I would encourage you to consider before you go and spend a heap of money on your guitar. Now, my guitar itself is a nylon string. It's about $220. I think I paid $235 for it. It's just a nylon string Ibanez. Okay, it's a good guitar. I've done a lot of setup on it. I've lowered the bridge a little bit, and I've worked the truss rod to give it a little bit lower action than normal acoustic guitars, nylon string acoustic guitars. Aside from that, I've just put on a standard set of strings. They're nothing special. The strings aren't anything special. They're just a standard set of nylon strings themselves. So the thing about buying a guitar, the guitar itself, how good the guitar is, makes less of an impact on how good the person playing it is. So a good guitar can't make a bad player sound good. Okay, a good guitarist can make an average instrument sound good. So it's about technique. It's about these things here: your hands, your sensitivity, your creativity on how you can play in a song, how you feel and express your creativity through the instrument. That can make the biggest difference on a guitar. Now, a lot of people ask me, a lot of my students have asked me, how much should I buy? What kind of guitar should I buy? Buy one that's $800, $1,500, $800, $1,800, $2,000, whatever it is. Now, depending on the type of guitar, it's going to cost more. So electric guitars generally cost, on average, a lot more than an acoustic guitar does, depending on the brands and things like that. So you can get some really expensive acoustic guitars, you can get some really expensive electric guitars, and you can get really cheap ones, okay? The first thing I would say is find out what your budget is. Set yourself a budget, okay? Now, when I bought this guitar, I'd set myself a budget of $300. Now, what that does for me is that I decided I'm not going to go over $300. Not going to do it. $300 is my limit. That's all I'm going to spend on a guitar, okay? And that gives you a target. Now, with that target that you put on there, so it'd be that $300, $500, $800, whatever it is, you have to come to terms and accept the fact that you may be throwing that money away. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to give up on your dream of learning how to play the guitar. It's just that a lot of people go out and they'll spend a lot of money on a guitar only to have it sitting in the cupboard for the next 15 years, not being played. Because they bought a really nice guitar and they thought, you know what, because it's a nice guitar, it's an expensive guitar, I'm going to sound great, okay? The truth be known, you're not going to sound great straight out of the blocks, okay? I'll do my best to help you explore your creativity and have a lot of fun whilst we're doing it, but you're not going to be, an Eric Clapton or a Jimi Hendrix overnight. It's going to take a little time, okay? It's like you can't rush between the ages of, 5 and 20. It still takes you 15 years to get there, okay? And that's the same as a guitar. It's one of them habits or one of them hobbies that take time and effort, passion and interest to help you progress. And a lot of people who start off going, people will say, okay, what you have to do is you have to do scales every day, right? You have to do scales every day and just do scales for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, even months, right? That's good if you've got that discipline, but really in our society today, we want to get out there and we want to start playing songs, right? And that's what I think is the key to learning the guitar, is finding songs that you enjoy, you want to play, you want to learn how to play, you want to play along with, or you want to sing along with, allowing your creativity to come out. That's the key to a good exploration of your creativity, you know, because music is, like I've said before, it's the constant companion with us through life. It's the relationship that we have with our past and the hope that we hold for our future. So when we're actually looking at buying a guitar, set a budget, accept the fact that you may be throwing that money away. It's gone forever. Once you buy the guitar, you may be able to sell it, but you won't be able to sell it at the level that you have it, you've bought it. So it's going to cost, you're going to lose money on that guitar, okay? Unless, of course, you're buying high-end, you know, collector's items, and they may increase in value over time, okay? But I just want you to understand that when you pick a guitar, pick one that's in a budget that you're happy to throw away. That's all I'm saying, okay? So another thing I would like you to do is avoid, if you can, buying it over the internet. Go to a store, go to a shop, play with the guitar, feel it. It doesn't matter if you can play it or not. Just handle the guitar. See if it feels nice. Look at the fretboard here. Have a look at that and see if there's any, you know, divots in the actual frets. If there's any obvious cracks in the instrument anywhere. If on acoustic guitars, this area here behind the bridge needs to be flat. Sometimes there's a bow there, which means you'll never be able to get it in the tune. Okay. Now all these things, and I'm not saying that music stores are a little bit dodgy. I'm not saying that, but they do have a tendency to try to offload their items that they can't sell in store because of possible defects. One horror story I had was I bought one of my partners bought me a very expensive guitar. Now when I unpackaged it, I was blown away. It was great, but there was a crack in the fretboard right up here, just at the first fret here. There was a crack in the fretboard, okay, and there's a structural fault. Now they bought it off. Online sales process. Now, you know, luckily, you know, here in Australia we're covered by consumer laws, and that's a faulty item, so I could actually have it replaced. Now, the store that sold that instrument knew that it was broken. They tried to patch it up and glue it back together and actually colour it the same colour as the fretboard, but it was obviously cracked. Okay, so then kind of horror stores do happen. Not often, but they do happen. Okay, but if they can offload an instrument via online sale, they will. And also going down to the music store gives you an opportunity to look at a wider range of guitars. Get your hands on them, you know, feel them, have a feel of them. Do they weigh okay? Are they heavy? Are they awkward feeling? You just need to be able to be part of the instrument itself. It's going to become part of you as you practice, as you learn on it. And then once you get to a certain level, you might say, you know what, I've grown out of this guitar. I'm going to buy a more expensive guitar or a different type of guitar. Now I've got this is the guitar I use on a day-to-day basis to do all my, you know, working out of songs, writing. I'll be using this in the Fret Fables channel just to show that, you know, you don't need, you know, a very expensive guitar or a high production value to actually have fun and entertain and be creative in your own way. Okay, so remember that the music that you create is an expression of your creativity, your internal creativity expressed out into the world. And again, like I've said in the past, it doesn't mean that you have to go and perform. You can perform for friends, family, you can do it for yourself. It doesn't matter. It's your journey to find some happiness within your life, something that you enjoy doing. And remember that music is our constant companion through life. It travels with us when we're happy. It comforts us when we're sad. Together, we can make the world a better place if we all understand the importance music has with us as people. Thank you for watching the Fret Fable guitar course. Now, put a like down, subscribe, to have a look at some of our other videos. Down in the links, there's going to be some links to tuners, capos, plectrums, things like that for you to consider. So just be how do we say, open to learning and being the best at what you do at any given time. Until next time, signing off. Welcome back to Fret Fables, folks, and today we're going to cover off the musical alphabet, what we use as music, and the notes that we use to identify music, okay? So one thing I want to start off with is that we have to understand that the music came first, the alphabet came after the music to put some structure around it, so you know we could have a way talking to each other and expressing how a song would sound to other people without them actually having heard it. Okay, so that's the framework that we put around something that already existed to make it sound, make it available to more people. Okay, now the music alphabet goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, so we start on A, we finish at G. Once we go to G, we go back to A. So it's like a loop. Okay, now in that loop, there's going to be different sharps and flats. Now, on the guitar, we have an ability to look at the musical alphabet set out in semitones. It's the same as a piano. The piano has the white keys and the black keys. Now, if you go between one key to the next key, that's a semitone. That's sort of same sort of situation we have here on the fretboard of the guitar. Okay, so we have here we have an E note. That's a thick string, open string. That's an E note. Then we have F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and back to E. Same note. That's the same note, okay? So that musical alphabet goes up in sharps and flats. Now, you don't need to remember that now, but there is a PDF that will be linked in the description for you to download so you can actually start learning the notes on the fretboard, okay? And there will be a trick that I will explain to you later on, how we can actually learn the fretboard quicker and understand the connection between the notes of chords, keys to the fretboard. But that'll be coming up next soon, okay? Now, there's only two notes in the musical scale or musical alphabet that don't have sharps, okay? So that's B and E. There's a semitone between B and C. That's the step. So there's no B sharp, or B sharp would be C, okay? E sharp would be F, but we don't use that because there is no technical B sharp or E sharp. And if you think about it, there's no flat for a C or an F. Because if we look at the guitar in flats, okay, we could look at the E note right down here. That would be E flat, D, D flat, C, C flat, which is no C flat, is there? It's a B. B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F. No E flat, goes to E. But that'll be in the PDF attached below. Just have a look at it, download it, and you'll be able to look at it that way. Now, I would encourage that you do download the PDF because it'll give you the notes for the first, or all the strings, but I'd like you to just have a look at it, have your guitar there, look through and try to see if you can learn at least the first two strings, all the notes on the first two strings, because they'll become important going forward when we actually start doing keys and we start doing chords, okay? Now, another way you can look at it is if you look at the guitar itself. I don't know if you can actually see these, but there's actually dots here, okay? And these dots are at certain frets to help you navigate across the fretboard itself. So at the 3rd fret, the 5th fret, the 7th, 9th and 12th frets, the 12th fret will have 2 dots on it. So that tells you that's the octave. So an octave goes from root note to root note, so E to E, A to A, B to B, C to C, etc. And each one of these notes at the 3rd fret or the 5th fret or the 7th fret or the 7th, the 9th fret and the 12th fret are there to help you identify where you are on the fretboard. Okay, so you can actually see, at a glance, all right, so I'm at the 5th fret or the 9th fret. Okay, that's all they're there for, to help you identify where you're at and how you can actually use the frets. Now, one of the things you can do with the frets here, one way of tuning the guitar is to have the top note tuned, and then you can use the 5th fret, which will be the A note, A open note. So you have E, A on the 5th fret is the 5th fret on the E string. So you've got E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, which is the same note as the second string from the second thickest string on the guitar, which is the A. And then the 5th note for that is the D, right? And then the 5th note on the D string is G. Now this is where it changes a little bit, because the 4th note on the G string, which is the first, on my guitar, it's the first nylon string, okay? That 4th fret is the same note as the next string down. And then the 5th fret, E. But again, that's all in the actual PDF for you to actually download below. All right, so when we're actually learning and we understand all the different chords, we learn the chords and we learn the structure of that, we actually start to learn how music theory relates to each other. All right, so subscribe, connect, download the PDF down in the link. And until next time, remember that music is our connection to our life. It's our way of expressing our creativity into the world. Okay? And music is the constant companion we have. It helps us when we're down. It lifts us when we want to be happy. It's always there for us. It never lets us down. This is for the free course from Fret Fables. Until next time, Tunnies, have a great day. Hi there, folks. This is the Fret Fables guitar course for beginners and or intermediate, advanced, doesn't matter. Have a look at it, enjoy yourself. Remember, music is our constant companion through life. It is there when we're sad to comfort us. It's there to celebrate with us when we're happy and joyous. So today we're going to go into, and we're going to start the chords. Hopefully the last lesson you downloaded the PDF and you've gotten a start on learning the top 2 strings in each note from the fretboard, and that'll help us greatly. Okay, so there is another PDF for you to download below for this chord, for this module. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover the open chords of the guitar. That means we're not going to bar it. So like if we bar something, we're going to bar all the strings. Like we cover all the strings and change the pitch of all the strings. Okay, you can hear the difference there. All right, so we're going to cover the open chords. That'll give you an idea of some of the open chords we can use. And out of the open chords, we have 2 bar chords in this set, but we're going to focus first on the open chords, which is the A chord. Right, we sort of like play only the bottom 5 strings on the A chord. Okay, and the chord itself is the 2nd fret, the strings from the bottom to the top. I'll just give you the names of the strings, even though it's in the PDF, your previous PDF, but it'll be in this PDF as well. You've got the E string, which is the thinnest string at the bottom, B, G, D, A, E. So you've got the E strings there. So we looked at tuning the guitar with the fifth strings, like the 5th frets. So on the E string, the 5th fret's the same as the A string. On the A string, the 5th fret's the same as the D string. On the D string, the 5th fret is the same as the G string. The G string changes a little bit on the 4th fret, same as the B string. And the 5th fret on the B string is E. Okay, so that's that there. The other way you can tune it is once you learn the actual notes around the guitar and chords and what makes up chords, which we will cover in the next session, you'll be able to use different notes to tune the guitar further up closer to the nut. Now this is particularly handy to learn, and this technique will be shown in the PDF if your guitar is intonated poorly. So what intonation means is that each note is actually correctly sounding as you go down the fretboard. Now, because of the height of the strings, the space between the bridge here and the nut here determines the note. So that E note is there, so that should be an A note. But if these frets are in the wrong place, if there's a bow in your guitar here that's lifted up a little bit, that means the strings are moving that way. That means the strings are out of tune the further you go down the actual fretboard. And being able to learn songs in this open position and tune close to that open position up to the 4th fret, you can get away with a really poorly intonated guitar and still play songs quite well. Okay, so the chords we're having here is the A chord. So that will be the 2nd fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, and 2nd fret on the B string. So there's different ways you can do it. You can place all your fingers on it like that. You can put one finger there, one there, one there. All these finger patterns will be put in the PDF anyway. Or you can fret it with just the flat of that finger, which will help you when you actually start getting into bar chords. Okay, so that's the A chord. We have the C chord, which is 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret D string, open G, 1st fret B string, open E, and you play the bottom 5 again. Okay, then we have the D string, which is we don't play the lowest 2 strings. We play the top 4 strings, which are the 4 thinnest strings on the guitar itself, and that's the G string 2nd fret, B string 3rd fret, E string 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and you only play the top 4 strings. Okay, so you're only playing them, the thinnest 4 strings. Okay, the E chord is the A string 2nd fret, D string 2nd fret, G string 1st fret, and you can play all 6 strings here nicely. Okay, it's an E chord, and then we've got the G chord, which is 3rd fret, E string 3rd fret, A string 2nd fret, and high E string 3rd fret, or the 1st string 3rd fret. All right, and we have 2 bar chords, which is the B chord, which we don't play the low note, the last note string, the E string, the low E string, but we have 2nd fret A string 2nd fret, D string 3rd fret, G string 3rd fret, B string 3rd fret, and then E string, high E string, 1st string, 2nd fret. Okay, and we have F, which is just like the E. All right, so we did the E string. If we slide that up 1 fret, and then we bar off these 2 notes here. So we just squeeze down these 2 notes, right? Remember, you can hang the weight of your arm off the neck, and that will allow you to not have to squeeze the neck really hard. And that's your F note. Okay. Now just to comment on anchoring your right hand. Okay. Now you can anchor your right hand on this round part of the guitar, which will give you a constant position to be able to place your hand in the same position, so you know where all the strings are. This comes with practice. Okay. So you know where your fingers are at all times. Okay. Right, so you know where your fingers are, or you can use your little finger on the actual guitar itself. So just resting on the guitar itself, and that helps you position your fingers. Some people use their palm on the bridge. I use all these different techniques. balm on the bridge to anchor your hand itself. So with the different notes, so C, E, F, B, A, D, E, G. All right, and with that, once we look there's some exercises in the actual PDF for this lesson. You'll be able to see that the PDF will go through each one of these chords, and there's an exercise there for you to change between the chords. Okay, so you can change between the chords. Nothing fast, nothing extravagant, just enough. And then we can start to learn the strum. Just strum down. Right, so we're doing a simple strum, and we can double that strum up by just down. Right. You may notice that you go, oh, that's that song, that's that song. So many songs use that three chords, G, C, D. It's as simple as that. So you can start strumming. Sometimes I think life is just a rodeo. So that's the kind of thing you can do. Like, you've only gone through a few subjects. This is the first subject that you're actually fretting and playing notes, and you already know dozens of songs once you actually put these chords together. Okay. Now, with regards to that, we talked about the musical notation and musical, the way in which music is actually structured, the alphabet and things like that. The guitar is actually set up for you to be able to understand what chords go with what key. Okay. Now, we did talk and touch on this, and we'll touch on this further, but I just want to give you an idea. If we look at the E string here, okay, and we go to the 5th fret, which will be the A note. If we play that A note with the E, just like an E, but we slide that up until we can actually play that. So it's the A string 7th, D string 7th fret, A string 7th fret, and the G string 6th fret, and then we bar on the 5th with everything else. Right, that's an A chord. Okay. Now, if we look at that A note, we know the 3 major chords in the key of A major will be that note. Then we go down to the A string and play the 5th note, which is the same as the D, so it's a D. And we go up 2 frets, and we're following the musical alphabet, D, D sharp, E, E. They're the 3 notes, 3 major chords in the key of A major. That's as simple. That's how easy it is to know. Okay. So when we're actually learning a song, if we remember that, and we remember that if we go back from this 5th fret and we go back 3 frets, okay. So we go A flat, or G sharp, G, F sharp. All right, and we play the notes. E string 2nd fret, A string 4th fret, D string 4th fret, bar across the top there. That's an F sharp minor. That's the relative minor of the A major scale. Them chords, the A, the D, the E, and the F sharp minor, cover probably 80% of all songs ever written. And that's how you find the chords that you want in your song, is that simple. That's how the guitar is actually structured for you to be able to do that. Okay, so it's not a problem. Even if you go, okay, well, what's the chords in the G major scale? Great question. Let's work it out. Let's find out where the G note is on the E string. E, F, F sharp, G. There's G. So what's the note on the A string directly below that 3rd fret? On the 3rd fret on the A string? C. 2 frets up, D. So we now know that the three major chords in the G major scale, G, C, and D. What's the relative minor? We go back 3 frets. F sharp, F, E, and we play that E minor chord. The E minor chord plus the G, C, and D are the 4 chords in the key of G major that you can play lots of songs to. We'll get into this in a little bit more detail, but it's a good idea to just get exposure to these concepts. So like I said always, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Go and see some of the other videos I've done for the channel where I explore the music of the past. And remember, music is our constant companion. It travels with us. It comforts us when we're sad. It celebrates with us when we're happy. It's our constant companion, something we can rely on when we need something just to listen to, someone to understand us. And playing and learning the guitar is our pure expression of our creativity out into the world. Until next time, Tunnies, have a great day. Hey Tunnies, hey folks, how are we today? And this is a Fret Fable free guitar course that we're going to cover. We've covered what the guitar is, how it's a magnificent instrument that's more than just strings. It's percussive, it's got bass, it's got treble, it's got all sorts of wonderful things that it can help us express our creativity, our internal journey of life, and find in the pursuit of happiness, so to speak. And remember that music is our constant companion in life. It comforts us when we're sorrowful, and it can celebrate with us when we're happy. And learning the guitar is our way of expressing our creativity and putting it out into the world and making the world a little bit better. Now we've covered off some of the major keys, major chords, the open chords, and we even touched on some of the bar chords. We've covered how to find the keys in a scale. We've learnt the top 2 strings, the notes on the top 2 strings, and now we're going to learn a little bit about the keys of the musical alphabet, so the notes within the keys of the musical alphabet. So we're going to work on the C major scale. The C major scale is made up of no sharps or flats. It's just C, D, E, F, G, goes back to C. So all the way through, C, D, E, F, G, C, etc., etc., goes all the way through. Now, one good way of learning what a major scale sounds like is a very popular Christmas carol. I mean, everybody would have probably heard this song, but if we play the C major scale from a high note to a low note, you can actually hear this Christmas carol. Everyone hear that? Right, so that there, if you pick any place on the fretboard, you can actually work out the major scale based from that note going down, and that will be a major scale. Okay, so now why is it important to understand what scales are? Because we need to understand what chords go into that scale. Now we've touched on them chords. We know that in the A major scale we get A, D, E, and F sharp minor is the relative minor of the chord, or the 6th note, the 6th chord. Okay, but with chords, what are chords? We might ask. Well, chords are any 2 notes played simultaneously. Okay, so that's a chord. Okay, that's a chord. That's a chord. That's a chord. Okay, so any 2 notes played simultaneously is pretty much going to be a chord. Okay, so how the chords work is the notes in the scale correspond to the chord we have. Now this is where we're starting to learn. We're going to learn a lot about not only chords but the guitar itself. Okay, because in the C major scale, right, there's three notes in the C major scale. So we've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, goes back to C. Now the first chord, the C major chord, is the 1st, 3rd and 5th note of the scale. So C, skip D, go to E, skip F, G. So the key notes that we have to understand in the key of C major, the C major chord is made up of 3 notes. And them 3 notes is C, E, and G. Now, when we play the C major chord, we're playing C, E, G, C, E. And we know where our fingers are. A note, A string, 3rd fret, D string, 2nd fret, G string open, B string, 1st fret, E string open. So you know them 3 notes are just repeating on the fretboard, and you start to learn what notes there are on the different parts of the fretboard. So you can play a C chord there, or you play a C chord here. It's the same notes. So you know that these notes down here are the same notes that are being played up here. They may be in a different order, but they're the same notes. Okay, so that's how you can learn. When you learn the actual all your chords, you can start learning the fretboard and understanding. Okay, well, I know that there's a C there. I know there's a C there. I know there's a C there. I know there's a C here and here. Right? C here. So we've got C's all over the place, all over the fretboard. There's C's, and all of them can be used in the C major chord. Okay, so when you think about each of the chords you're playing, just take a second to think. Okay, if this is a chord and it's in the C major scale, what notes am I playing? What notes are being repeated? Okay, and then you can actually start learning the fretboard based on the notes that you're playing. Okay, so with regards to the chords to the key itself, we know that in C, in the C major scale, we've got the C, F, and G are the major key chords, right? Because they're all made up of the notes in the C scale, and there's no sharps or flats. So if you look at the F chord, there are no sharps and flats. It starts on the C, it's got an F, A, C, F. No sharps or flats. In the G chord, if we look at the G chord, G, B, D, G, B, G. Okay, so when you're actually playing these chords, just sound the notes out, learn the notes around the chord, and you start to learn the key itself and the scale, which is magnificent. Now, there are 3 minor chords in the key of C major, okay, and the minor chords are A minor. Okay, so if we look at it, D minor and E minor. Okay, now if you look at them 3 chords, you've got the E minor chord, and everything here is in the PDF. So download the PDF, and the PDF will walk you through and help you practice these songs. Okay, so you've got E minor, open E, A string 2nd fret, D string 2nd fret, and then the rest are open. There's E minor, bingo. A minor, open A, D 2nd fret, G 2nd fret, B 1st fret, E open string. Okay, and D minor is the bottom, the top 4 strings, the thin 4 strings, there. You want to have that. Open D, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, 1st fret E, D minor. Okay, so that's the keys, the notes to the key. Now, every key is based on the same. So if you change the key, let's change the key to, so we did C. We'll go to D, because we know D has 2 sharps in it. Okay, so if we go to D major, and remember how we find out how to play the scale, if we just listen to it. Okay, so that's, so we know that's all the D chords. So we know D, the first chord of the D major scale is a D. What's the next note in the D? So it'd be D, E, correct? Yep. So D, E, E would be an E minor. And then F is an F sharp. Right? And then we have G. A, B minor, and then the C sharp diminished or demolished. We don't really worry about that too much, but it's there. Don't really worry too much. And back to the D. Okay, so if you look at the keys and the chords that go with the key, it's always the same with the major scale. The first chord is a major, then minor, minor, two majors, major, major, then a minor, and then the demolished or diminished. I like to call it demolished because it's a terrible sounding chord. And then it goes back to the major chord of the key, core key. So it doesn't matter what key you're in, it's going to be the same. A, key of A major, A, major key, major, D major, E major. Okay, so that's what we learned earlier. If we go back 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, that's the F minor. If we play the B minor, it's right there, B minor, and we slide up 2 frets to the C demolished, C minor, and then the G sharp demolished is there as well. But once you've learned that, and you know the A key or the key of A is there, you can play backwards the melody, and you'll know what the notes of the actual key of A are. All right, just play around with it, have some fun with it. Just pick a note at random on the fretboard and play backwards, and you'll slowly learn the actual key. Then you can actually work out what that root note is that you land on, because if you learnt the top 2 strings, you might land on, say, B, might be, and then you know that the B, what that note is. So you've got B, E, F sharp. They're the major note keys and major chords in the B major scale. You go back 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, G sharp. So we know G sharp, G sharp, C sharp, sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, and D sharp minor. Okay? Until next time, and remember, music is our constant companion that travels with us through life. It comforts us when we're sad and sorrowful, and it's there to celebrate our wins with us. Subscribe, check it out. Until next time, Tunnies, have a great day. Hi Tunnies, it's the free course from Fret Fables. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're actually enjoying the process. And remember, the PDF is actually in the description for you to go through all the different exercises we've done so far and a little bit of theory. Today I want to talk about keys and how keys are structured. Some people will say some keys are sad, some keys are happy, things like that. There is some truth to that. There are some keys that sound sadder, some keys that sound happier. But a lot of that comes from quite a while ago when they didn't have what was called equal temperament. So equal temperament is we have a semitone, a certain distance between each of the notes on modern instruments. Okay, that's our modern musical notation. In the past, the intervals between an E and an F may be different depending on what the key was and how the instrument was tuned at the time. So something like some classical songs would probably sound different today played on an equal instrument, an equal temperament instrument compared to what they used to be. Okay, so just a bit of trivia there for you. We've talked about how to find the keys in the chords to the key that you're looking at. So we know the first 2 strings, the notes there, which is fantastic. So we have here, if we're looking at the key of G major, we find the G note on the first string, the thickest string there, and we go 3 frets up to G. The string below that, directly below that, is a C, and then 2 frets up, D. So we know that the chords are G, D, G, C, D. From there, we go back 3 frets, 1, 2, to the open string, which is E, and here's our minor chords for the key of G major. E minor, and we go A minor and B minor. Okay, so they're the chords to the key of G major, and you can do that all around the guitar. Now, we're going to touch on something called the circle of fifths, right? Which is based around the fifth note or the fifth degree of or fifth note of a scale. So in the key of A, if we go to A, and we know that the fifth note is E. So the fifth chord or the fifth note of the key of A is E. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the fifth note. So the circle of fifths means that you can go around the musical like a circle. I'll put the circle in here for you to look around, and we can go around that, and we can understand the different keys and the relationships the keys have with each other as you travel around the actual circle of fifths. So if we have A and we know that E is the next one, we've got to work out what the next fifth is. So we look at the fifths of E and we go, okay, well the fifths of E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is B. You find that one out? Yep. So we go A, there, then we go to B, and we work out what the fifth note of the B is, which is F sharp. F sharp, F sharp. What's the fifth note of the F sharp key? It's G sharp. All right, and you can follow the notes and play the chords of all the notes around the circle of fifths, and then you can see the inside will be all the minors and that, and you can actually look at the circle of fifths and see how that maps onto how we found the chords in the key. So we know if we look at G, we'll look at the G, or we'll go C because C is probably easier to see on the circle of fifths. If we go C, we'll see that the C chord to the left of the C on the outside circle is what? F. Okay, and then on the right of it is the G. Directly below it, A minor. The four chords, or the 1, 2, or the 1, 3. Well, try again. The 1, the 4, 5, and the 6 chords of the key of C major is there. They're the four chords used in most songs, most pop songs, over the last 70 years. So if you learn all the different keys and understand the connection between, or the connection between what the actual key is, the major notes in the key, the major chords, and the minor chords, you can play most of what you need to know to play most of the songs ever written. So if we look at that way, we can also have a look at the different sounds and play around with the different sounds. So if we have a minor key, which usually sounds a little bit sadder, that's an A major chord, more melancholy, more sad. Okay, it's a lot brighter. It's a major seventh. Okay, so play around with the chords, play around with the keys, understand the circle of fifths, and if you can play an exercise through the circle of fifths, just playing around the circle of fifths, that will help you with your chord changes as well. So if you can do that, and once you're able to do that, you'll be a long way to making a impact on developing your skills as a guitarist. Okay, so until next time, thank you for watching. Subscribe, have a look at some of the other videos we have on the channel, and make sure that you understand that music is our constant companion. It's there when we're sad to cheer us up. It's there to celebrate when we're happy. Okay, until next time, Tunnies, have a great day. Hey Tunnies, how are you going? This is Fret Fables and the free course that we've put together for you who are starting out and who want to actually develop for a little bit more. Remembering that music is our constant companion through life. It's there when we're sad and need to be uplifted. It's there to celebrate our joys and happiness. It's always there, and it's the purest expression of our inner creativity out into the world. If you just want to learn to play guitar to yourself in the bedroom or at home by yourself, that's great. If you want to share it with other people by playing songs and having a sing-along, that's even better. Okay, so one of the things we talk about, and I talk about a lot, is with the students I've had in the past, is practice. How often do you practice? How do you practice? What do you do when you practice? Things like that. So if you think about practice as not practice, but the exploration of the guitar itself, it changes the mindset. Okay, so when I first started playing guitar, I had some really bad guitars, but I had them placed around the house. I had one in the lounge room, one in the bedroom, one in the back room. So whenever I was around the house, I had a guitar close to me, and I'd just do stuff like if I was watching TV, I'd just pick it up and I'd just strum through chords. Just, it didn't matter what the chords were. I'm just getting used to moving my left hand around the different chords, learning different ways of playing the different chords, and I'm getting used to the feel of my fingers moving around. Okay, all it takes is 10 minutes. If you learn a song, and at the end of this course we will be doing a song, and we'll be building in an exercise for you to play that song, and you can exercise in 10 minutes a day, and you'll get a huge increase. What you'll do is you'll be playing along, and you'll suddenly increase in your skill set, and then you start to plateau a little bit, and then you'll increase a little bit, and it'll be just this constant flow up in skills and ability as time goes by. Okay, so 10 minutes a day. If you're watching TV and you're doing chords, the other thing you can do is you can just do a simple finger exercise. Just playing. Basically, what you're doing is you're playing one note, then you're playing a second note. So, all right. So you can do that. Down the strings. Right, and then you can just change up the order of what you're doing. So you can play, instead of just going one note at a time, or one straight, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can change it around, say 1, 3, 2, 4. Changing the different patterns, and you don't have to do this on your guitar. You can do this on the train, whilst you're sitting at work waiting for something, or sitting watching TV. You can use your lap and just practice moving your fingers in different shapes. Just imagine the C-shaped chord, the F-shaped chord, the G-shaped chord, the E-shaped chord. So just having that visualization and the finger exercises. You can do finger exercises all the time. You can do just backwards and forwards like that. Okay, change the different orders. Right, yeah. Just practice the motion of getting that finger memory happening. Okay, so when you're doing everything, just remember that you play a song. If you're doing it without any other distractions, you're just doing the instrument, I'd suggest maybe hum along with it. Okay, hum along with you play a C chord, get the note. La, la. Start to hear the note within the chord. You start to learn and hear how that note sounds in the context of the chord. Okay? So you can, you can do that with all the chords. And this takes 10 minutes, 10 minutes a day to be able to do that. And once you start learning songs that you can play, you'll start being able to practice by doing songs. All right? So just remember that the effort you put in will be a direct, it will directly impact the progress you make. Okay, so if you put in a little bit of effort, you make a little bit of progress. You put in a lot of effort, consistent effort, every day for 10 minutes will get you further than doing one day for 2 hours, because there is a limit to your ability to actually you get to a point of diminishing returns. So if you're practicing chords or a song for hours and hours and hours on end, okay, you're going to get to a point where you're no longer learning. You're just making more mistakes, okay? And with regards to learning a song, this is a mistake I've seen with a lot of people, is that when they start to learn a song, they play it and they get to the point where they can't do it. They make a mistake and they stop and then they start again. What you should be doing is you should be going through the whole song, mistakes and all. You make a mistake, you just keep going until you get to the end of the song. Because what happens is that you'll become really good at learning that first part of the song to your first mistake. Once you actually overcome that first mistake, you're brilliant at that first part of the song. But then you get to your second mistake and you have to learn everything from the first mistake to the second mistake, which is not to the quality of the first part of the song. So if you have mistakes in your songs and you're doing your songs, just go straight through it every time. And as you hit the mistakes, the bits in between start to improve as you go through it each time, and the mistakes become less of an impact to you and your song and learning process. Okay. Now, with regards to timing, I would suggest that you spend as much time as you possibly can learning timing. Tap away to songs. If you hear a song, tap away to it. Right? You've got to learn rhythm when you're actually playing. There's nothing worse than having someone who doesn't understand the basic concept of rhythm playing the guitar, because it throws everything off. All right. So if you're playing a song, it's just something like, right? That's good rhythm. It's even, right? But if I play the rhythm off, it ruins it. So learn to listen to beats and play the rhythm along. Tap away to it. If you're hearing a song at the supermarket, click, tap, right? Get used to time and being able to break each beat down and each rhythm, get the rhythms right, will help you tremendously when you start to play guitar and learning songs, because songs are based around a steady beat, okay? All right, so just remember that, it's your inner creativity that you're expressing externally to the outside world, a world that's eager to hear your take and your understanding of, songs that you love and feel passionate about. And you have a bit of fun on the way as well. Okay, until next time, Tunnies, have a great day and be well. Hey Tunnies, hey folks, how are we today? This is the Fret Fables free guitar course. Now, we've covered a lot in this course so far, and we're coming up to the last 2 videos for the course, so everything's going to start to fall into place, and I'll give you an opportunity to understand how all the pieces come into place, okay? So we're going to talk about a thing called the Nashville numbering system, which is just the numbering system that they put to chord progressions so they don't have to explain what key they're in. Okay, so if I can say, if I'm playing in a key of C major and I've written a song in C major, I can then say I'm using chords 1, 3, say 1, 4 and 5, okay, and we're playing at 1, 5 and 4 in the key of C. And instantly all the other musicians and everyone else will understand, okay, so in the key of C, 1, 5 and 4 is C, G, F, right? And that's the way in which we're playing the song. And now if I want to change that to, say, the key of A, the singer comes in and says, oh, look, I sing in the key of A. We can change that and say, okay, well, the key now is A. We don't have to try to work out what notes we're doing, because we know in the key of A, E, D are the chords in the key of A, which are the corresponding chords in the key of C, G, and F. All right, so the numbering system makes it simple to transpose songs into different keys for different reasons. And our next episode or next lesson, we will go a little bit deeper into that and actually look at a couple of songs that we can play. Or we're going to play one song, but we're going to play it in a whole different level of keys. So you'll be able to see it in action, and it's a great way to practice because it combines not only understanding how the chords fit together and how the keys can change, but it also helps you vocally be able to experiment with where your vocals are and how you can sing to different song levels. Okay, now with regards to the how you can change the keys, you can learn all the chords and all the different keys in the open position. Okay, or like I said before, you can get a capo, and that will change the actual key that you're playing in. That'll help you change the key. So if I'm playing an open string here and I'm playing the C chord, okay, right, so I'm playing the C chord there, I know it's a C, but if I need to play in C sharp, I'd put a capo there, play the same positions, that's a C sharp. That's as simple as that. The capo helps you change keys, helps you make the guitar a little bit more versatile without having to play in different positions or different shapes to make the song work out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at a song called Stay. It's not the one recent one, it's from the 1950s or 60s. It's a song that's quite well known, but if we look at Stay as itself, 1, 6, 4, 5. They're the chord notes, the chord numbers for Stay in the key of C. 1, which is C. The sixth note, sixth chord, which is the A minor. The fourth chord, F major, and the fifth chord, G major. And that's the song. Stay just a little bit longer. Please, please, please say that you will. So we know that them chords, and we want to go, okay, we want that, we want to play that song, but we want to play it in A major. Okay, let's have a look at A major. What are the chords in A major? We've learnt how to find the chords. We know A, 5th fret, first E string, and then 5th fret, A string, D major, 2 frets up, E major. And we know if we go from the 5th fret, we go back 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, F sharp, and we know it's a minor in the key. So in A, Stay is stay just a little bit longer. So we can see it's the same song, different keys, or singing in different registers, but that's how we can actually play a song, learn it, learn the theory behind it, and how it fits into other keys, and have happiness and joy whilst we're doing it. We're allowing our inner experience or our inner emotional connection to the song explode through our creativity, having our own take on that song itself and sharing with others. So that's a very, very short, simple thing. PDF in the actual description. So if the PDF's there, download it if you haven't done that so far, and we can then go from here. We can go and move on to the last video, which is going to be a great video to sum up the whole course. It'll be great for you if you could subscribe, go and have a look at the other videos on the channel, and remember that music is our constant companion through life. It's there when we're sad to comfort us. It's there to celebrate with us when we win. Until next time, Tunnies, have a great day. Hey Tunnies, it's the Fret Fables here, free guitar course, and this is our final course. Congratulations to get to this point, and we're going to be working on Stay, the song Stay. We're going to work on also the song Rock and Roll Girls. The two songs are going to be played in several different keys, so we'll be able to have several different keys and be able to play in different ways, and be able to find what our pitch is, the voicings that will help us sing songs and be part of this wonderful creative endeavor which is music. And as we know, music is our constant companion. It's there to comfort us when we're sad. It's there to celebrate with us when we're happy. It's going to be with us through life. All right, so we've covered a lot of things. We've covered what the guitar is, the parts of the guitar, the strings, the notes. We've learnt the 2 top strings. We've learnt how to play all the open chord strings, so bar chords. We've gone through bar chords. We've learnt how to find the notes to a scale, right, from on the fretboard. We've also learnt how to know what key we're in, or major key we're in, by playing the note from high to low and listening for the Christmas Carol. No? That doesn't sound right, does it? Oh, okay, so we now know that we're in the key of G major because we landed on the G major chord and it sounded right. Brilliant. And we know the keys, the major key notes, chords in the key of G major. G major, C, and D. And if we go back 3 notes, 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, to E. So we know E, it's minors, E minor, down 1 string, that's an open A, so it'll be A minor. We go up 2 frets to B, which is B minor. So we know all the chords in the key of G major. And we know what the chord numbers are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, through the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 7 demolished, destroyed, destructive. You know, do not go there, okay? So the 4 chords that we want to look at in this in the song Stay is the 1, and we want to play it in this order: 1, 6, 4, and 5. Okay, so the 1 in G major is the G major chord. The 6th is the E minor, then C and D. Stay just a little bit longer. So out of key. All right, so we know the G. Let's go to A. We know how to find the A chords. So we've got A, F sharp minor, D, E. Stay just a little bit longer. Please, please, please say that you will. Okay, so what I want you to do is, and again, if you've not downloaded the PDF yet, download it. Down below, it has this exercise, and it takes you through a whole lot of different keys with the chord structures, the chord shapes that you can play. And all you need to do is just do that and practice that, and that's a good way to practice. Same as like if you practice Rock and Roll Girls. It's originally in G. It only takes 3 notes. It's the 3 chords, 1, 4, and 5. So in G major, C, D. Sometimes I think life is just a rodeo. Got that wrong, didn't I? Playing to live and playing to the bell. So if we play that in G, in A major, sometimes I think life is just a rodeo, riding to win. Da 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 da. So you can do that through all the different keys there. E major. Sometimes I think life is just a rodeo, playing to win. Da 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 da. So have a bit of fun with it. Change the keys. Learn the chords to the new key. Get to understand that. And remember, break it down. If you're learning a new one, look at the notes. Look at the notes you're playing on the fretboard. You know that the A major scale has a C sharp in it. Okay, so you know it has a C sharp in it, and you know A major chord will have a C sharp because it's A, skip the B, C sharp, skip the D, E. So A, C sharp, E. So the notes in the A major chord, you know, A, E, A, C sharp, E. That's the fret. You're learning the fretboard as you're learning the chords, as you're learning the song. Okay, so just learn that. So we've got the 2 songs there. They're in there. Leave a like. Put a note down in the description there. Have a bit of fun. Make sure that you're expressing your creativity and having fun with the guitar. Listen to other videos I've put out to give you inspiration. That I'm not using any tricks. I'm not using anything. I mean, I made a few mistakes there. This is raw. This is giving you. If you compare yourself to someone who's being, honest and realistic here with you, not everyone's perfect. Auto-tune makes people sound like Pavarotti. I don't sound like Pavarotti. I look like him, geographically maybe. The same sort of gravitational pull I have as Pavarotti did towards his later years. But you need to remember that it's our emotional connection that we have with the music that we play allows our creativity to shine through. So until next time, Tunnies, just keep going. As little as 10 minutes a day, and you'll see a massive increase within 3 months. You'll be amazed how well you'll develop. Okay? So have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I hope and pray that the best of yesterday is the worst of tomorrow for all our Tunnies. Have a great day. Signing off from the Fret Fable YouTube channel. Have a great day.